My mother did a lot for me growing up. She definitely paved the way for me to be here. So I kind of wanted to give back to her.
I was a senior in high school when I had Bryce. Probably the most terrifying time of my life. I knew things were fixing to get kind of hard, but I knew that I was determined to be a good mom and that he was going to be my #1 priority. So I finished high school with lots of help from family and kept a full-time job doing that. There were times I did pick up a waitressing job to help, maybe even at Christmas, things like that. So those were things he saw growing up, and that maybe that's a little rougher life than you want. You know, you want to be able to not work 2 jobs, and that sometimes takes higher education to do so.
So my mother is the most important part of my life. When I was growing up, there were some weeks she was working 50, 60 hours, no complaints, just so I could have shoes on my feet, just so we could have a roof over our head.
So that's kind of where I think a lot of his drive comes from too, is knowing that things can be easier and, you know, put the work in to not have to do that. But it wasn't until he started school, preschool, kindergarten, that I started seeing a spark in him, that he loved to learn, and that I really knew that he was destined for more than just a 9 to 5.
Not having a parent that went to college made me want to give back to them, because they didn't, like I said, they didn't have the opportunity to do this. So, and I know that they would like to have this opportunity. So I'm not gonna ruin this opportunity for them or for myself, especially when they've given so much to me to be able to do this. So I kind of had to rely on other people in my personal community to get me here. I went to my high school guidance counselor, who really helped me fill out all the forms that I needed. He helped me October 1st fill out my FAFSA.
Bryce, he's very self-motivated, and so if he had a question, he'd come seek me out or ask the secretary and she'd ask me or something.
Yeah, so my high school guidance counselor, Mr. Leposki, he honestly is just a guy that you can go talk to. It doesn't have to be about school. Like, if you're just wanting someone to say, hey, how have you been? Mr. Leposki's the guy to talk to. But I did have a struggle, and I wanted him to help me with it.
He knew where he wanted to go, and he pretty much knew his major. He just didn't know anything else. I mean, he had all the decisions made, he didn't know the steps, and so that was actually the easy part.
I didn't know how to fill out a FAFSA. I didn't know how to fill out a scholarship form, but Mr. Leposki did, and he wanted to make sure that I was able to do all the things that I can. So he definitely took the time out of his days to help me get to the point that I am.
I didn't really know how to help him at first, because I had never been that but like I said, we had a lot of help.
But for Bryce, you gave him a task, he'd get it done.
So I'm so grateful that Mr. Leposki helped me all that he did.
He wasn't sure he was going to be good enough for college. He had great GPA, you know, very motivated, but and a lot of students I find, they don't think they're going to, you know, the college just isn't going to like me. Well, he got his letter, and he was just all smiles. I mean, he couldn't stop moving. He's waving it around.
So the reason I chose ETSU was the location and the financial aid opportunities. I came to an open house right before school let out my senior year. Didn't really have a plan of where I wanted to go, but I chose ETSU because it was still close to home. I got to visit home whenever I'd like, but it was also the perfect campus for me. It was a really big campus, you know, a lot bigger than a high school, but it was also a small campus where I could get connected on campus, get to meet a bunch of different people. So that was something that really spoke to me. I really liked that our application process here was very minimal. So the reason I took our introductory course here at ETSU 1020, was because at orientation, the orientation leaders were like, this will be a class that will help you get acclimated to campus. So I took this course. I had Dr. Amy Johnson, lovely soul. She definitely made sure that whatever we needed, we had. whether it was just someone to talk to on the phone for 5 minutes or helping us get an academic resource that we needed.
I love teaching ETSU 1020. It is one of my favorite courses to teach. I've been teaching at ETSU for 21 years, but I teach this course and I like to teach at 8:15 on Monday, Wednesday, Friday because I'm often the first faculty member that a student ever interacts with. And because Bryce is a first generation college student, one of the things that we do in the course is a lot of career exploration and a lot of thinking about how do you make who you are match who you want to be and the kind of work you want to do in the world.
Another really important part of this course is the Buccaneer Involvement Guide.
We have one-on-one meetings twice each semester where I just check in and I'm like, hey, like really just tell me how it is. Like, how's your living situation? How is the food here? Like, do you like your roommate? You know, how are you adjusting basically? Just like a very conversational type of one-on-one meeting.
College is what you make of it. You know, you can go to class in the morning, go work at night, and on the weekends just spend time in your room. Or you can, you know, get out, meet new people, have those connections that you didn't think you would be able to have. So connection is something that is very important to me, and it's allowed me to be the person that I am. So there's a couple of organizations that I am involved with on campus now. The one that I've been in the longest is the Preview and Orientation Leaders Organization, or POLO for short. I'm a brother in the Beta Upsilon Chi fraternity on campus. That's a Christian fraternity on campus. I'm a member of the Expedition Leaders, which is our tour guide group on campus.
Like I said, my name's Bryce. I'm from Greenville, pretty local. But I'm a first generation college student, so what I like to tell people that is whatever background you're coming from, ETSU is going to be an accepting place for you. We try to make sure that every student is taken care of here.
The reason I tell people about my story and being a first generation college student is because someone might be scared like I was. I may not have always wanted to come to college, but I didn't want to be scared the entire time while I was here.
I enjoy working with Bryce so much. I've honestly never met someone who loves giving tours as much as him. He loves going out and working with families and students and connecting them to campus, telling them about opportunities. And as a first generation student, he knows how important it is to help them through the admissions process.
Just getting to watch him like lead a whole group of students and just do it like flawlessly and just connect with his co-leader perfectly. Like, there's nothing but compliments about Bryce, and from every student that I've, encountered, it's been compliments about Bryce.
ETSU has been great for him. He has completely, if he ever was really in his shell, but he was more reserved, I guess, and now he's coming to try new things, and he's learning new things, meeting new people, experiencing new things. It's really been great for him.
Her drive to make sure that I still get everything that I need is still there. There's not a day that goes by that she's not working to better me. She betters me over herself some days, and that's the reason that I do the things that I do, is so I can better her.